doesn't like my hair.
I do like your hair. I just don't think it's professional.
This is not professional.
Well, it's attractive, but
so
here, let me help you with
marketing people would not want to work with people who have this kind of hair. That's the takeaway. Which is why we do digital marketing.
I know nothing
and I
about
work in front of the camera.
Yeah, Linda's not usually in front of the camera.
I'm usually way behind it with my hair.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we're in front of a camera, in front of a computer, or are we behind a computer? I can't tell if we're in front of a computer or
We have a laptop in front of us.
But it's not on our laps at all.
No.
So, anyway.
What are we talking about?
What are we
Brian?
calling this show even?
I told you.
What?
Happy hour marketing.
But we're not happy right now.
No, but we can pretend. We can pretend I have rum in my Coke Zero.
Let's pretend you're drunk. So,
That's hard to do.
I'm Brian Carter. This is my wife, Lynda Harvey-Carter. And
Just Lynda Harvey.
That's an area of contention as well. We do marketing together. We met in acupuncture school. She was my hot for teacher.
I think that promotes us as marketers.
Okay. But what I was going to say was I got into digital marketing in 1999 really, and eventually I taught Lynda some Facebook
Everything
ads.
I know.
No, now she knows more than me about Facebook ads.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's, I mean, we're not going to do our entire bios here, but we're going to talk to you today about, let's see, which topic should we pick? Let's talk about this. What's the difference between a Facebook ads expert and someone who feels like they have Facebook covered because they've been doing it for a year or so?
A lot of hours.
A lot of hours of work.
A lot
and
of
experience.
hours. But you know what I tell clients is that rarely does a company have their very own 100% dedicated Facebook expert. That usually whoever's doing their digital advertising has to cover either multiple channels all at once, or they do social.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still don't understand that Facebook ads versus Facebook social
Right.
are getting, there's a difference there. And
Yep.
yeah, I mean, so that's one of the biggest things, and that Facebook is complicated in terms of primarily because of the interface, which changes every 2.5
Well,
minutes. No.
that's true.
But
That is true, but I would say it's even more complicated because, I've done over the years so many articles on here are all the mistakes that people make when they first start Facebook marketing or
Right.
advertising, and there's a lot of them. There's not using the right ad objective.
right?
There's
Target.
There's targeting. And there's how many
So
things you
maybe
test.
that's what we should talk about is what makes Facebook ads, what's so good about them?
Okay.
Why should you even
Yeah.
try?
Yeah. I think there's
Versus doing pay-per-click straight up with Google.
Yeah. And then also what's the difference between what you get from a competent Facebook advertising campaign versus what happens when you're doing it wrong? Well, that's huge too. You're lucky if you get e-commerce profitability and you haven't been doing this for a long time. Anyway, so yes.
Well, I mean, I don't want to take the idea away. If you
No, go
wanted
ahead.
to just talk about the difference between
No, I think if we
specialist
talk, this is where marriage comes in. We're arguing about.
I don't want to do that. That's stupid.
If we talk about what good Facebook advertising is, then people are going to hear stuff like, "Oh, I don't do that," or "I didn't know about that problem," or whatever, which will reveal that they might not have it where they need to have it yet, right? What?
I was batting my
I
eyes.
know. Okay. I sensed an opinion, but I guess there wasn't one. So some of the things we help clients with that they don't get right away, I always feel like we're dealing with is there enough creative? Are we testing enough different types of targeting? Those are two issues we should start with, really.
Yeah.
And targeting, we could do an hour on
Weeks.
targeting. Okay, weeks. You could do an entire course on targeting.
Yeah, and you know, if you're really going to be serious about trying to either turn Facebook ads into a primary lead channel source, or as your e-commerce source, or you know, part of your existing funnel.
Yeah.
You really do need to understand the targeting, because
Targeting is huge.
there's not really, I mean, in Google it's all keyword based, and there is some of that in Facebook, but what makes Facebook so great, I think, I'm a big targeting freak, is the specificity of the target, as well as being able to widen and reach so many people so inexpensively,
Right.
you know, that are really specific.
So anyway, I agree about targeting. It's huge. Like, remember I did this study of all our clients back in 2016 and found out that I looked at the difference in results, you know, with different things. And when I looked at all of our previous clients, we're talking about, you know, like, I don't know, scores of clients. I can't say dozens, but scores means 20s, just for...
See, I forgot that.
I can't say 100. It's somewhere between 100 and 200. But anyway, we look at our clients and all the campaigns. That's not hundreds. And we look at all of them. We're never going to get a sentence out. We look at all of them, and I looked at what makes the big difference. Is it targeting, creative, landing pages, other things? And targeting made the biggest difference in results. So yes, you're right to be a targeting freak. And most people, like you know, they don't test enough targets, or they don't know how to come up with targets. I mean, I consult with other agencies, and they're asking me all the time, like, what other targets should we do?
Yeah, well, and that's really good that they even want to know, because that's one of the problems going into Facebook advertising with targeting, is that if you come in with too narrow of an idea of who your target is, you're going to miss out on everybody else. Or if you...
Can you think of an example?
Well, the idea that we only deal with parents that are between the ages of 25 and 40, and then if we're able to convince them, could we please try a little bit more expanded target? Then we end up going back and showing them that no, actually, it's mostly single women in the city that are in the 50s and 60s.
Right.
And so
that means you don't always know who your best target is. And we've worked with corporations where they're like, well, this is sort of our institutional wisdom that these are our customers. And sometimes you do want to, we've had clients that do want to target one regardless of how it's not the best performer, but sometimes they don't. Like, all that wisdom about who our customer is isn't based in data, which means it's not a fact.
Right. Or it's not based on Facebook ad targeting, because that's different than search targeting. It's not factoring in that this is interruptive targeting, that the whole goal is to stop the thumb flip.
The thumb flip.
The thumb flip. That's it.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
And it's not just demographic targeting either, because like in your example, it could be we do want to target parents, but if we restrict the ages of the parents, the cost per 1,000 impressions goes up so high that our performance goes to crap. So, there's little things like that with, just having a lot of experience with Facebook ads, knowing what's wise to do with targeting in Facebook ads. Yeah. But when you look at, so the first thing you got to do is say, okay, it could be parents. So there's some parenting targeting. There's more specific parenting of children specific ages targeting. There's
single parents,
people interested in Parenting Magazine. There's people of that age,
every kind of parent you could think of.
There's all kinds of ways to target those people, and we're really looking for the best performance. So it could be that the one that sounds really unintuitive to you is actually, it gets your people and it has a lower cost. So that's the thing, that what an expert will do is that we're data driven. Yeah.
If the data doesn't show that it's the best, either highest CPR, CTR, lowest cost per click and best conversion rate and best cost per conversion, depending on what your goal was. If you're not seeing that, then that's not your best target.
Yeah, that's true. And that kind of brings up another topic that we should go into sometime, which is just interpreting all the metrics and the changes in them can be super confusing to people. They're like if you don't have one key metric for your campaign, you're going to get confused and you're going to make bad decisions. Because people will be like, well, I want to understand, why did the CTR go up here but the conversion rate went down here? And why?
Yeah, my impression rate went there. So it's like we usually have one key metric. So say you want traffic, then your key metric is going to be your cost per website link click.
Correct.
Cost.
And not cost per click all.
Right.
Yeah.
Because people do still click on photos or make a comment or something like that, and those aren't necessarily what you want.
Yeah.
But you'll still use things like CTR or link click CTR in particular to find out, either as like considering it as almost a mid-funnel action.
Yeah.
Where it's like they see the ad, do they at least, click on it and show interest, and that helps to establish whether or not you're putting the right content in front of the right audience.
Yeah. And we have benchmarks in our head. Like, we're like, oh, there's a 0.5% click-through rate. There's something wrong. Yeah. Or it's like it's 8%. Okay, did we make the ads so good they're never going to convert? Like, we can't deliver on what we...
Right, and a lot of non-intuitive things that sometimes the highest or best of one metric, like CTR, for example, click-through rate, isn't always going to get you your end result.
It's kind of like a seesaw.
It's the middle that you want.
It's like a seesaw. Like, if your click-through rate is too high, sometimes your conversion rate is low, your cost per sale or cost per lead is too high. If your click-through rate is...
you get too many looky-loos. People are like, they're interested.
If you don't have a high enough click-through rate, there's a problem. You're not even resonating with the audience enough.
Right, your message, your
targeting,
offer,
or both. Yeah, your offer. There's a lot of moving parts, and then it takes...
And a lot of people don't understand, even some of the ad experts that we've worked with, don't understand that reach and impression is
different?
No. Those things are based on the amount of money you spend more than anything else.
Right. That's true.
They're not really reflective of CPM, the performance per se. They're 3 times removed from
And if you're confused right now, please ask us a question in the comments. We're happy to answer them, because
we should do things for each ad type, the major metrics.
Yeah, we'll have to go through every ad type. And really, I think, what are there, like 15, like 10 or 15 ad types, but we really found like the 4 or 5 best ones. We'll talk about those. Yeah. Well, we might disagree on what they are. It depends on the situation. Which I mean is the crazy. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we have work, is because every situation is so different.
Yeah.
You have to be able to tailor it in your strategy and your tactics.
Exactly.
So, that's a little bit about targeting and metrics.
And what you get from an expert.
Yeah, exactly. I think in the context of all of that. What do you get from an expert? We'll give feedback too about creative. I think one of the biggest disconnects a lot of people have with getting into Facebook advertising, it's even a more critical issue than in Google ads, where you can create a Google ad, a text ad that works for a year, but chances are your best Facebook ad is new, or it's only been working for a month. And so Facebook eats up a lot of creative, and there's so many organizations that we work with that just they don't have a way to create that much content. They don't have enough content to get the best results. So that's a big issue as well.
Yeah.
And we counsel people on that, and we give them, we found little like systems and tools and stuff to help them with that. But usually we help them as well if they have internal sources. We that over time they realized how important it is to
Yeah.
increase their capacity to create.
Yeah, and it's sort of there's no idea is precious. It's only what people, after you run it for a bit, if people like it or not. It's the metrics show that that's the best thing.
See,
Yeah.
it's about your customers' behavior. It's about what do they, not just what they like, but what they take action on to get the result you want. And we're all always surprised what it is that does that.
Yep.
Like sometimes the client has the best idea. We might think it's a bad idea when we run it because we're open-minded and it works, or vice versa. Something we came up with they thought would never work, or initially they weren't even open to, gets the best result with their customers.
Or sometimes it happened just recently where we're bored with the message as the advertiser. It's like, I'm going to make something new.
Yeah.
I'm going to make something really creative or really funny. And it turns out, nope, the boring list of the offering kind of thing is what converts best or leads for that person.
Yeah.
So there are some pitfalls. That would be another topic to
Yeah,
do.
for
It's
sure.
Like, creative pitfalls that happen and that I think are unique to, again, Facebook. And since 98% of Facebook ads are going to be being shown in the news feed, on
Mobile news feed or
mobile
Instagram.
news feed or Instagram. Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's so.
That's a stat I always say, like in my keynotes, I always say, like, the internet became primarily mobile in 2014, right? And so ask yourself, do you think your website, as you see it on a laptop computer, is the most important thing? It's not. It's how it looks on the smartphone, the smaller smartphones, and iPads and stuff like that. So, and a lot of us we don't see it there often enough. We forget, is it really mobile responsive? What is the mobile experience?
Right. Smashing a lot of stuff in there just means it's going to go on forever and ever.
Yeah, you got this incredibly long page and your sidebar disappeared and all kinds of stuff, and your pop-up isn't working and it's keeping people from reading your site. There's all kinds of issues that happen.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if we answered the question, what does a Facebook expert do? Because we do so many things that those are examples of what we do that are expert level. And I mean, I hope it doesn't sound braggy to say that, but we've been doing Facebook ads. I've been doing them for 9 years. I don't know. When did you start?
I started in 2010.
Really? Okay, so 9 years. Yeah.
A little bit.
So we've been doing it for almost a decade. And through all the changes in the interface and how it works and what Facebook has emphasized or not, and changes in targeting because of privacy issues. So it's funny. I mean, it's great to if you've started with Facebook ads recently. Welcome. That's great. There are probably a lot of situations you haven't run into yet. And I guess having worked with a lot of different kind of clients and different industries and different goals, we've seen a lot of different stuff. We've seen so many things. we have Facebook PTSD. We've seen too many things. Anyway, so those are some of the things that Facebook ad does and knows. A Facebook ad expert. Well, that's our first video, you guys.
Maybe
if we like it. If we like it enough. And if we do post it, please comment, please subscribe. Let us know what you're dealing with, your questions, your problems, your criticisms of my criticisms of her hair. Whatever you want to tell us, please comment, like, share with your friends, your dog, your parakeet, and please subscribe. I'm Brian.
I'm Lynda.
And we are out.